Tonight I have a good one for you. This video is for beginners. It's part B because I did a part A. Tonight is a good one. It's going to be full of information. It's going to be helpful to you as a beginner for pre-planning your farms. We're going to go over preferences, and we're going to go over the shortcut bar and the form and help tab as far as trees, flowers, and fish go. And I'm going to talk a little bit about the facility manager and the tools you're going to need for that. Now, in our first video, part A, we talked about experience points, how to get them, how to level up quick. We talked about coins, where to get them, farm cash. We talked about fuel and how to get that. We talked a little bit about the quests, but what I failed to mention on the quest, I'll show you, I'm preparing a ship right now, so every few minutes it's going to pop up and say my containers are ready. That's what I'm doing. But on the quest, just to recap, the cooperative quest and the quest manager, I failed to mention this, but you need this facility in order to complete the quest, okay? Same with this one. You're always going to need a facility to complete the quest. Now, if you do not have the facility, it's okay. You can still play and help your neighbors out. But if you can get the facilities, that's even better. But in the first video, I tried to tell you to save your farm cash, right? So if you have to spend it, you have to spend it. I don't know what to tell you, kids. We talked about the farm pass, which are these, farm pass 1, farm pass 2. We talked about the job marketplace. But what I forgot to mention there was after you get hired and you work for somebody, down here there's a little note. I would suggest just being nice. You click on that note and leave a message saying thank you for the work. Have a pleasant day. Something like that, okay? Because they'll remember that. And when they go to hire again, they'll look for you. And we went over the wall request. Remember my requests up here? You click on it and there's your wall request from your neighbors and buddies that are looking for some help. And we went over show other wall requests as well, as a way to, right up here, as a way to get coins and whatnot. But let's focus in on tonight. Tonight we're going to talk about preferences because it kind of ties in with my first one, because I didn't really go over ships, okay? Now, if you're going to be a daily player, then I would leave my port enabled, okay? And I would allow ships to come because I'm going to load them daily and send them on their way. But if you're not going to be a daily player, then I would shut off my port and not allow ships to come, because I'll just sit there, and players really don't like when their ships sit for any length of time. So let's go back to play. I'm going to show you where your preferences are, and we'll talk a little bit about each one maybe. They're kind of obvious, so I really don't know if I need to talk about each one or not separately. Again, this is my computer speed. It is not the game speed. I have an old jalopy computer, and see, look at it's slow. So bear with me. I'm hoping to get a new one maybe next month or the month after, maybe for my birthday in June. Alright. So the game is loading, and the first topic we're going to do is preferences. This is my farm 1, okay? Now, up here, you see this little wrench, that little wrench, and it says when you hover over it, it says preferences. So we're going to click on that, and up come your preferences. Now, when I was talking about the ships, I'm down here. Enable ships. See this? Now, I play every day, so I have that chat because there's my loading my ship. Let me just get this out of the way. Preparing containers to send my ship out. Prepare container. Okay. So you just unclick it. When the ship's feature is disabled, your seaport will not receive any more ships from other players, and other players will not be able to load your ships. Well, I don't want to do that because I have ships out there, but you would click OK, and that would then, the check mark would go away, alright? So, as a beginner, and you're not sure if you're going to play every day, I would go ahead and unclick that. enable ships, and we talked about the NCC. Go ahead and unclick that one too, because you're still just a beginner. So unclick the enable CCC and unclick enable ships, unless you're going to play every day and do ship, okay? Now, I have auto select tools selected. What that does is that when I go from farm to farm, it automatically tells me what tools are ready to use. So if I have trees that are ready to harvest, then the tree harvester tool will pop up automatically. Now here it says skip funeral facilities and skip religious facilities. Neither one of those offend me in any way, so I have them unchecked. But if you don't want to see funeral facilities and you don't want to see religious facilities, you just click those and you won't see funeral facilities or religious facilities. But we don't have too many of either. We do have a funeral parlor that has some items in there. As far as religious facilities go, to be honest, I haven't really seen any other than decorative items have been religious in nature. Now, remove space between fields. You definitely want to do that. So I would click on that, remove space between fields. And that way, I have other videos that show you how to stack and layer your fields. So it would be cool if you already took care of that. See how your fields are all together? Here, I'll blow it up. Your fields are together. This one is stacked. I have 3 fields where there should only be 1. See that? 1, 2, 3. But in essence, there should only be 1, but I stacked these. So I get 3. People can do 5, and I've seen people do 9. I don't get involved in the 9-time stacking or the 5-time stacking because I have flowers and trees on top, and I think that's just too much for the game to handle. Plus, I've heard that if you have too many layers or stack on your farm, it gets wonky and can cause glitches, okay? So just be careful. I do not do a tutorial on 5-time or 9-time stacking. I don't do that. But I do have one out there for 3-time if you want to check that out. Alright, back to preferences. The little wrench. Alright, now, compressed graphics, use less memory, load faster. I do not have that clicked because I'm not in any hurry. So I don't really need to compress the graphics. Freeze animals. That allows you, I think that's maybe for decorative reasons. If you don't want your animals moving around all the time, you would click that and that would freeze them where they are. Transparent dispatch train. Well, I don't want my trains to be transparent. Let me go to the train manager. There's the train manager. Because I forget what farms my trains are on. This one will tell me. Okay. Farm 21. Let's go to Farm 21. Oh, that happens to be my original farm back when I started in July of 2021. Okay, I'm just going to show you. See how you can see my train? And it's nice and clear with the colors and everything. Well, I like it like that. That, under preferences, you can click on this transparent dispatch train, and what will happen is it goes see-through. See? Now it's see-through. That lets you know automatically that it's been dispatched, which is kind of nice. Some people like their trains to be transparent when they're dispatched. I guess that comes in handy if you have a lot of trains. Then you can keep track of which ones have been dispatched and which ones have not. But I always seem to dispatch my trains as soon as I unload them. I just dispatch them. I don't wait. So for me, that preference doesn't really help. So I'm just going to unclick it, and there my train comes back, full color. Okay? I prefer it this way. I don't have that many trains. I only have 4. So there's your train manager, and we talked a little bit about that. Now let's go back to preferences, a little wrench. Show animals when not at home. That's, I guess, so that people come visiting your farms can see your animals. Show feedback when farming. I have that clicked because I'm not really sure what it does, but I like feedback, so I click show feedback. Let's see, show coins and experience animations. Now that's grayed out, so I don't think that is an option anymore. And then up here, it comes in handy when you're layering. I'll say that. Like, if you want to layer trees, you just select none. There we go. So it unclicked them all. Then I would click on show trees and show ground cover. Okay, so we're going to do that. And it pretty much takes everything away except for your trees and your ground cover. But show farm cash items, that's the train. Show coin items. I guess you'd have to literally unclick those or they stay clicked. So now let's try it again and see what happens. There we go. Now everything disappeared. That's not what we want. We still want to see our trees. So how the world, let's go back up to preferences. We said trees and ground cover. Maybe we better show some coin items because trees are coins. Maybe that'll bring them back. And you just play around with them. Whatever you're looking for, whatever you don't want to see, whatever you want to see, that's the top section of the preferences. There they are. I think I bought those decorative pieces with coins and the track with coins. And the trees are coins. Okay? And that's how preferences work. We go a little bit more into them when I teach you how to layer items and stuff. We'll go a little bit more, but for now, I would just show all. Why not? Show everything, right? That's how I do it. But down here, enable ships, remember, unclick that if you're not going to play daily. Definitely unclick the NCC because you don't have any facilities yet. It's up to you on the religious and funerals, and definitely remove space between your fields. Okay, because that'll give you more farming, more crops, and you want that. Okay, so that's a little bit about preferences and where you can find them, which is right up here, this little wrench. Okay, now let me do my preferences. Show all, and everything comes back. Yay. Okay, let's refresh. Maybe that'll help it. Okay, we are back and up. Okay, now the next thing I want to talk about is the shortcut bar, which is this area right here. These are shortcuts, okay? Now, in order to get to this area, you come up here and you click this little arrow. That little arrow, when you highlight it, it says shortcuts. So we're going to click that, and it tells you over here what to do, okay? So you read this and close shortcut editor. So we come up here to shortcut and you move. Now I can have 4 more shortcuts if I want. If I click on this, it says additional shortcut. Do you want to use 1 neighbor slot or 2 neighbor slot? 1 neighbor slot will give you 2 shortcuts. 2 neighbor slots will give you 4 more shortcuts. So let's go ahead and use 2. Now I can drag and drop things, right? So you have to click on it. Well, I use my designer tool all the time. I use my boat all the time. I use my combo all the time. These are my stats, my shortcut stats. And this is my facility manager, which I use every day, sometimes 2 or 3 times a day. So what can I put down here? How about my multi-planter? I do like that one. Let's click on that and we'll bring it down here and we'll drop it in that slot. What else do I use a lot? Add item to storage in bulk. That's if you're moving around trees and stuff. Let's go ahead and do that. Add item to storage in bulk. Let's click on that and bring it down here. And we'll put that one there. Now, of course, you can use these tools if you want, but I only use my watering and my irrigation once a day, so that's not necessary to move those. But how about my train manager and my boat manager, my seaport manager? Nope, it won't let me do that. Seaport manager. Yes, there it did. Okay, so now you filled up all your slots. All your shortcut slots are filled up. Close shortcut editor. Now, as you can see, it removed 2 neighbor spots and put these down here instead, okay? But as a beginner, you might want to put some tools down here, you know? So whatever you want to put down there, the shortcut, and you have to click on the item you want. You have to click on it. Now say you don't want these anymore, right? Well, you just click on it and do not use any slot, and then it takes it away. Okay, so shortcut editor, and you're back to having your neighbors there without any extra shortcuts. So you can play with it and move things around as you see fit. As you learn the game and see what you use a lot of, you can put it down here in your shortcut, okay? Now I want to show you the Form and Help tab, specifically with regards to trees, flowers, fish, and things of that nature, because this is really cool. Instead of just planting things randomly, willy-nilly, you can actually plan, which is what I've done with my farms, okay? So you come up here to Forms and Help, and you click on that, and it opens up here in a new tab. Now, I would suggest creating a username and password to register for this form, because it is awesome and it is chock full of information, okay? As you can see right now, there's 5 people viewing the forum guide, there's 18 people viewing the game guide, and there's 6 people viewing the website guide, and so on, and so on, and so on. General feedback, Farmtown Social, join and meet other Farmtown players, all kinds of stuff. It's really good site. So go ahead, create a username and password, and go ahead and register. I've already done that, so I'm just going to log in, and we're going to go to the game guide, okay? Now, I'm just going to, okay, sorry about that. Now, you ask yourself, what trees do I need to plant, right? Where are my trees used at? What facilities use my trees? Or my tree product, right? So which trees should I plant? So what we're going to do, to come down here to where it says Chapter 15, Trees. We're going to click on that. Now, here, where products for my trees can be used are in Chapter 27. So we're going to click on that. Now, this is the page I wanted to show you, Chapter 27. What crops are used where? That will show you crop, okay? But we're going to talk about trees. What trees are used where? So you click on that, and here come the trees. So right away, you can see you need a lot of apple trees, you need a lot of avocado trees, you need a lot of bamboo trees, okay? Scroll down, let's go down. Ooh, look, you need a lot of lemon and limes. Keep scrolling. You need some orange, and blah, 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 blah. Now here's your gifted trees. You need a lot of these, a lot of almond, a lot of banana, a lot of coconut and cork, some olives, some rubber and walnut. So you get the gist of, like, I think it's helpful because not only does it tell you where, it tells you at what level they unlock. So remember in the first video when I told you how to level up quick? It's with experience points and things of that nature. You get farm cash. Well, trees are coins, but you have to unlock them at certain levels in order to get them. So, but your gifted trees, which are trees that are gifted to you, you'll want to save those. Because like I say, you need a lot of these: almond, banana, coconut, cork, rubber, walnut. Peach and pear, not so much. Mulberry, it only has 2 facilities that it's used in, so you don't need very many mulberry trees. It does produce the silkworms, though, where you get your silk and stuff. So I have quite a few mulberry trees just because I want to keep my textile and spinning mill going, you know what I mean, with the silk. But this is an idea of how to go about finding out how many of which trees do you need, okay? And let me just show you on my game. I just had my trees done, so I don't know if they're gonna show or not, but let's just go here. Go to my chicken farm. It's got trees that I know. There you go. Okay, so I pretty much planned it out this way. I use my multi-planter tools. I use this one, the 256 16 by 16 multi-planter. I click on it and it brings up my trees, right? If I click pine tree, it gives me options of how I want to lay my trees. I want a lot of them, so I use this one, right? And then I just come across Okay? And I do that for each tree that I need. Okay? And I find out what I need by this little list right here. So I need a lot. So I have one farm, just for instance, that only has lemon and lime trees on it. I made a whole farm with just lemon and lime trees, right? I made another farm with just bamboo. That's my farm 1. You can't see it right now because they've been chopped. But I have a whole farm dedicated to bamboo. I have a whole farm dedicated to apples and avocados, right? So you can plant, you see? And it does the same thing for flowers. Let's just go back here. Let's go back to chapter 27. Here's another good one. Where are my fish used? So you need to know what kind of fish to buy, what kind of ponds, what kind of rivers, what kind of lakes. So it tells you, let's see, you need a lot of crab. So they're in the small seacoast, which you can buy for coins. So that's cool. Mackerel. It's also on the small seacoast. You want to buy a fish farming plant because it holds the mussels, the oysters, and things of that nature. Crab, shrimp, you need a lot of shrimp. So get yourself a fish farming plant because that's where you get those kind of things from. And it tells you where you get it. Walleyes are only available in the frozen lake. That's a special lake that costs farm cash. Yellowtail is only available in the big sea coast. That's also a special water unit, which requires farm cash. Okay? So just take a gander and see and plan accordingly. Right? It's kind of nice. We'll use the back arrow and we'll do the same with flowers. And there's your flower list. Now you see pink roses, you lose a lot of those, and those are only available by gifts. Remember I showed you pending gifts, how you can change them into fuel in the first video? Well, you can also change them into pink roses if you need pink roses, just for instance. But again, it gives you an idea at what level they unlock and where they're used in what facilities. And this is a list of flowers that is not currently used in any facilities. So you don't even have to be bothered with planting these, really, because they're not being used, right? So, yeah, chapter 27, it's a nice chapter if you're going to plan your farms and whatnot. And here they have one on animals, hen eggs. As you can see, you need a lot of hen eggs, and you need a lot of cow milk. Cows and hens, need a lot of that, alright? So the more hens you get, and the more cows you get, the better off you are. And they just added this camel milk, so that's kind of cool. Alright, so I showed you that, the trees, the flowers, and the fishes. Now I want to talk a little bit about the facility manager. I'm just going to close out of here. I'm going to log out, close that, and come back here. Now this is your facility manager. I have it in my shortcut bar, but you can find it in your toolbox over here by the clock, the facility manager. You click on that because in the beginning, when you get facilities, you have to go to each facility and work them individually, okay? Until you get a lot of facilities and it seems unmanageable to work them individually every day, right? This is the facility manager. This is what it's here for. It will start all your facilities. It will load all your facilities. You can cash out all your facilities. And you can store your products from all your facilities. And look at here. You can harvest all your animals in all your farms. Okay? If you want to. Now, okay, I'm back. Okay, so like I said, once you get the number of facilities where you can no longer manage them daily by going to each one individually, you're going to want to buy some tools. So if you click on Start All, okay, it says the Turbo tools below can help you to start all productions in multiple facilities at once. That means on all your farms. So it doesn't matter where your facilities are. It could be on farm 1, on farm 12, on farm 36. It doesn't matter. It's gonna start them all. So all you gotta do is click on that, hover over the picture, turbo conveyors, turbo packaging machine. So you need 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, tools. Now those are all farm cash. That's why I said save your farm cash, because you're going to need to buy these tools in order to be able to start all your facilities at one time. To load all your facilities, you only need two. See? Turbo checkout station and turbo manual lift truck. So you get those two and start loading all your facilities. To cash out all, I don't think you need anything. To store all, I don't think you need anything. Okay? Same with harvest all. You don't need anything, I don't think. Let me see. Maybe you do. Oh, you do. You need to have a egg collector, a milking station, a shearing and cutting set, and a manure collector. So you need 4 items here, and then you can harvest all your animals on all your farms. Okay? So that's how you find those tools, and that's how the facility manager works. And once you get all those tools and you start working it, you'll do start all, then you'll do load all, then you'll do cash out all, because you want to sell everything, right? And what's left, you're going to store, so then you click store all. And then lastly, you'll click harvest all your animals. Okay? So it's start all, load all, cash out, store, and harvest. That's how you work it. And there's other ways. There's other things you can do with your facility manager, but that's too much for one video. And this brings us to the end of Part B, 101, Farmtown 101, Part B for beginners. Thank you so much for watching. I hope this helped you, and I hope to see you in my upcoming videos. And God bless you, and have a pleasant evening or day wherever you may be. Thank you.